Now, it's the second leg of the meeting between Parliament's presiding officer and Chief Justice Zondo. The meeting was called following Zondo's criticism of Parliament's handling of the issue. Among its many recommendations, the State Capture Commission proposed the prosecution of those found guilty of crime. Now, eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto was at that story and he joins us now live from there. Moloko, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, outlining some of the things that she says Parliament has actually implemented in terms of the recommendations of the State Capture report. What are those things? Does she list them?
Hi, Masero. Well, this particular meeting of yesterday of the Chief Justice Raymond Zondo and the presiding officers of Parliament was requested by Parliament, as you correctly said, following the remarks by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo criticizing Parliament, saying that not much really, he doesn't see movement in terms of implementing some of the recommendations. And today, following that meeting, the presiding officers of the two houses of Parliament briefed the media. There's a number of these particular recommendations. One of them include that currently there is no oversight a committee that is looking at the presidency or the president. You would know that all the departments have parliamentary committees that are looking at their works. And one of the recommendations in this regard is that there must be a specific oversight committee, and the presiding officers are saying that there's going to be a study tour to the United Kingdom to look at how they do hold the head of state in their country, and they may consider implementing it here. One of the recommendations is that, as you know, that currently all the portfolio committees in Parliament are chaired by members of the governing party, the African National Congress, except only one, which is SCOPA, that is being chaired by the IFP leader there, Mkhuleko Hlengwa. Now, the Chief Justice has recommended that perhaps the opposition parties should chair those particular portfolio committees, and we know that there are some members of Parliament who are totally unhappy with that recommendation. Some saying that the Chief Justice is overreaching in that he wants to prescribe how Parliament should conduct its business, and it doesn't seem as if that is going to be implemented. But one of the recommendations was that there has to be an amendment with regard to the, I think, Section 6 of the legislation relating to intelligence. But also the Chief Justice was worried that, as you know, Masero, that currently issues of intelligence are discussed behind closed doors. And the Chief Justice was saying that particular committee did not seem to do much in terms of holding accountable those who were perpetuating state capture, and suggested that there has to be some amendment there, but Parliament doesn't seem to be eager with regard to effecting those changes. They believe that the committee that would be exiting must prepare a report for the incoming committee of Parliament so that it can look at what it did or what that particular committee did. And one of the recommendations, of course, relates to the effect that some of the MPs would be threatened because they belong to political parties. Some of them may just be fired as members of Parliament for taking a particular stand. And the Parliament is saying currently there are procedures that protect members of Parliament and many other recommendations. But of course, Parliament refutes the claims that it hasn't done much. It says that some of the work is underway. Majority of the recommendations, it argues, are currently underway. And some of the recommendations obviously speak generally to the executive, the president and members of cabinet and deputy ministers, and to some extent to the state institutions which are independent in their own right. And they are saying that there would be quarterly reports that are submitted to Parliament regarding implementation of those. All in all, they are saying that the the meeting between the Chief Justice and them was cordial. And one other interesting thing was that the Speaker is saying that they indicate that because the Chief Justice has entered the political terrain, the difficulty is that when matters that involve Parliament at some point are before the judiciary or the Constitutional Court to be adjudicated, they will remind him to say, with regard to this and this, you already have a view, and that already indicates that they may just say he must recuse himself. But let's listen to Sylvia Lucas, who is the Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, another arm of Parliament, arguing regarding that. I'm told that the bite is not ready. But yes, in general, they are saying that they believe that the Chief Justice shouldn't have directly spoken or publicly about this issue. They believe that he should have gone to Parliament, to the presiding officers or the executive management of Parliament to raise these issues. Regarding the timelines, they are saying that the Chief Justice himself hasn't been able to tell them the timelines to say on this date you should have done this, you should have done that. And Sylvia Lucas saying that, look, this particular commission took about 4 years to do its work, and with us it's just only been a year. But another thing, of course, was that you would recall that this particular report was handed over to Parliament in various batches, and there was a particular recommend or legal opinion that said Parliament doesn't have to wait for the submission of the entire reports in order to process this, and some of the people were not happy with that. But maybe let's listen to Sylvia Lucas as she was speaking to us earlier.
The commission in itself took about 4 years to conclude the task, and they said it's because of enormity of the task. So, I mean, within less than 12 months, to say you have done nothing and we haven't gotten the report, we are not reporting to the Commission for that matter. So the issue is we are reporting to the public of South Africa. So even if we report, we should not necessarily say, but we are doing this because those ones said so. If there is a recommendation that shows to a weakness, and we also see that really we identify it as a weakness and we address it, that is just within the work of Parliament, it's within the scope of what we are supposed to be doing. I don't think it should be such a big issue. That I want to see what you have been doing, and so because I don't think it's in the terms of reference of the Commission. You understand?
All right, that was eNCA's Moloko Moloto live for us there. Thank you. Let's leave it there for now.